was like, what's going on? Just the kind of splashing. I've been listening to that book for there's some good ideas and stuff. I think it's quite difficult to niche down as a photographer when there's millions of them out there, isn't it? I think that's the I keep thinking about changing some of the videos to search friendly. And chances are, once we go Hello.
Dear, what's that?
What's going on there?
Hang on.
While James is messing around with that, trying to stop his intro, welcome to the Smooth as Butter Scott and James show. I think this is episode 19.
Yeah.
How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I'm just trying to keep as quiet as possible at the moment. Oh, here we go.
Try to keep us as quiet as possible.
I will try to keep as quiet as possible, try to work out where this noise will come from. And again, I had YouTube open in the background. My bad.
We'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll get better at it.
Yeah. So welcome to, is it episode 19?
19? No, 19.
I don't know what's going on really, because I've been on, I thought it was 21, but then I saw your post tonight, and I thought I'd probably jumped the gun up a little bit here.
I think we might have talked about doing something special for some of the episodes a bit further on. That might be why.
Yeah. So tonight then, the challenge that we were set last week was reflections and motion. So motion was capturing something actually in motion, not try to capture it still. But the poll that was sent out was reflections, wasn't it?
Yeah, it came back 66.6666% to 33.33333. So it was quite, 2/3. Should have just said
Yeah.
2/3, shouldn't I? Really, but yeah, 2/3
Well.
in favour of reflections, which I was quite surprised about, but pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Were you glad to do this one this week
Yeah,
then?
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. I was. To be honest with you, I wasn't that fussed about which one came out.
I just
I
because
think they're both quite interesting.
yeah, I think because of what I had planned throughout the week, doing the reflections one just fit better with what I was doing. Because I
Yeah.
had a little assistant to help me with the video again this week, which made more sense for what
Very
we were doing.
nice.
So all will be revealed at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah. So if this is the first time that you're watching us, basically what we do most weeks is we ask you to set challenges for us. And we've done numerous ones. So you can look back on the previous videos that we've done. But the challenge that was set to us this week, as we just said, was reflections. And how many ideas did you have going through your head for this?
Oh, loads, but not like your initial ones. I think I would love to get out somewhere, as we'll probably see with your video. But I would love to have gone out somewhere and shot some lake and some landscapes, because it's something that I haven't done for a very long time. Is get outside and shoot, some landscape photography. But as soon as we talked about reflections last week, I had some ideas, almost too many ideas actually, because it's a good fun thing to play around with.
Yeah, I mean, I could have probably done 3 or 4 tasks in one really with what we've done. And you mentioned about going out. The weather this week's been absolutely horrendous, and I was up at Ogden Water. That's in Halifax. Have you ever been there?
No. I know the name.
Oh,
I
it's
recognise the name, but then when
yeah, it's a big reservoir, and it was so windy, and I thought, well, I'll try it, but the risk was it was that windy that I didn't want to lose control of the drone and end up flying into the reservoir. But as soon as it set off, there was red warning signs on my phone telling me to land it ASAP, and it did actually go over the water, but trying to get it back was quite worrying, to be honest with you.
You were struggling to get back. How long were it up for?
Because of the wind. I mean, 2 minutes. Right. I just thought this probably isn't worth it, because I was going to fly it around the reservoir, and because obviously the autumn leaves and the trees and stuff, but you couldn't even see the reflection because the wind was that strong. It was creating ripples on the water. So anyway, sorry, mate, I don't want to spoil it all.
I've got giggles.
Have you? Why?
Because the fact that you only had it up for about 2 minutes.
That went straight off of my head.
Schoolboy stuff, innit? But yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
that's the conversation colour, isn't it?
I think it needs to be. Are we going to have a look at what you're up to then?
Yeah, so we'll have a look at mine. So mine then, as you can probably guess, was due to have my drone flying around, but the elements got the better of me. So let's have a look. 3, 2, 1. This week's video is about reflections.
This is the third time I've come out this morning and it's still raining. Look out the window and it seems fine, and then I get my gear on and it's raining again. I wanted to get some drone footage, but it's too wet and occasionally a bit too windy. So let's see what I can come up with. It seems to have stopped now, so here's what we're going to do. We've got a puddle and we've got a camera. Very simple. So I'm under a decent bit of shelter here, but guess what? It's raining again. I'm just capturing this reflection and I'm capturing it in interval shooting. Not time lapse as such, because time lapse on this camera would put it all together for you, and I don't really want that to happen. I want to do it myself later on, so I wish that I could have seen the first part of it through. But what you saw set on that video was literally it. I got it up in the air, turned it left, turned it right, and I thought, nah, time to go.
Autumn at the moment.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It looked really good. So, like you say, it's a shame you couldn't get more.
But did you see the dam there? You couldn't see any reflection on it, could you? It was just ripples. So I wasn't going to be successful with it at all, really. Like you say, I only had it up for 2 minutes.
Was it as cold as it looked as well? Because it weren't. I mean, obviously it was raining and stuff, but it looked like you had your big coat on.
Yeah, it was cold. It was cold. Because I was already up there, and
I thought, I will just try and get the shot that I wanted to. And yeah, it was freezing, to be honest with you. And but once you're kind of into something,
Yeah.
you don't really feel the cold
Absolutely.
as much. I was more cold getting there, and I think once the drone was up in the air, the panic set in then rather than the cold, and it was like, I need to get this down quick. I don't want another water incident.
No, definitely not. But I mean, it looked good. I like the stuff that you did. Was that close to your house then?
Yeah,
Downside in the puddle with Wilson.
yeah, it's not far. Yeah, there's the River Air, and then we was walking through some small woods, and then I knew full well there was going to be some puddles around there somewhere. They weren't as deep as I expected to find, but yeah, Wilson obviously played his part.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I liked the
But
tones and stuff in your editing as well that you used on those shots. It came out quite well.
yeah, and I think really the reason why I added the tones on it is because my expectations with the drone and what I was hoping to capture, I just thought, you know what, I'm stood at back at the side of some building, uh, next to a
It
puddle,
rained.
and I'm taking in the rain. I'm taking pictures of me and the dog. So I kind of thought, even without scrutinising the pictures, I just thought I probably need to add something more to this rather um, than what I've done. I mean, obviously you'll know what I did in the puddles. So basically, what I did there was if you notice, I had the tripod with the camera on it. And the first thing I did was take a picture with neither me nor Wilson there. And then the next pictures followed on with me stood there and Wilson sat there. And then basically, it's so easy to do. You then go into Photoshop and you just basically rub the top layer out, which leaves you with a puddle. And I enjoy doing stuff
Yeah,
like that. Do you?
I think that's what the majority of my final shots are, which we'll get to as well. But it's something that's so simple but so effective, and
Yeah.
you can have a lot of fun with it. And I think that's why I was looking forward to this, because I knew the weather was rubbish and that I probably couldn't go out. So I thought, yeah, let's have some fun with this and see what we can come up with. And I think in the B-roll there's only actually kind of one bit in the actual video where I did it, but the images afterwards, which we'll talk about as well, because I think you've got something similar that we can show. But it's just fun, and it's easy. The less time you spend editing, the better, really. And when it's something like that, it's so effective, and you can just do it so quickly.
That's right. That's right. So shall we have a look at yours then?
At me not going out of the house and trying to find some reflections. So in 3, 2, 1.
black and white vibe. That's quite
Yeah,
good.
I just
That.
wanted to do something a bit different. I mean, I tried, pretty much tried to get a reflection in every shot. And I think in the end, because of the way that I cut it all together, I think I missed a couple. But overall, I think I pretty much got a reflection in every shot, which was what I was kind of looking to do.
Yeah.
The scene with the Mick looking in the mirror, that just looked like good fun. I thought the lighting was nice at the time, and like I say, it's so effective to do it that it's just like it was good fun, and it was good fun to edit and edit quite quickly as well. So the other shots, which I've just realised I haven't sent you over.
So are these the ones that was at the end of the video?
I have quickly just sent you them. I don't know if you'll get them in time, but the first one was probably 12 years ago or something, and
All right, okay.
it was probably not long after I'd got my first camera, and just basically it was just one of those things where I was messing around. The mirror was there, and simply it's two photos.
All right. So just for the purposes of people watching it on mine, then. So are we talking about the one
Yes.
of your feet?
Yeah. So
right.
Again,
Okay.
it's two shots. One with my feet open, and another with my kind of toes pointed together, and that's it. That's all it was. And then just in Photoshop, like you say, just duplicate it. Put one photo on top of the other, and rub out the one that you don't want, and keep the other one. Pretty, like you said, pretty straightforward kind of effect, really. The second one was the one at the wedding, and again the same.
Mm-hmm.
Just asked them to. I did two shots. One of them facing me, one of them looking at me through the mirror, and then afterwards again just kind of merged them together. And then the final one, again, same kind of thing, but it was a shop window on a shoot with these two guys, musicians, and again just did the same. Had them look into the window, look at me through the window, as in the reflection, and then look at me directly. And literally that one, because it's on left and right, you can just split it straight down the middle, and layer it up.
Do you know what? I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I didn't even notice that you'd done that on it. I thought it was just a reflected picture. I don't think I looked at it too much.
Both the reflection and the real people are both looking at me, whereas normally you'd have one of them looking in the mirror. But like I say, it's such a kind of simple effect to do that, if you've got them there and you think about it, then why not?
Yeah, I'll show you the mirror one that I did before. I'll just bring that up now. So I did this probably about 2 years ago, and again it's so simple. And the only mistake I did with that one is I didn't show my hand as much.
Right.
Because
okay.
my hand.
On the shirtless shot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted it where the hand was touching the mirror from both sides, which it was. But anyway, I couldn't see it. But when I was thinking about it, I was considering doing this type of thing, and I still worked really. But I was thinking, you know what? Where do you stop with it? Because I also wanted to do the shop window one as well.
And I remember one of the other challenges you'd done. You'd done something similar that you could have used for this as well, in your hallway, with all your mirrors in the hallway. Where you put your face in each mirror, didn't you? So when we
Are they all merging into one
Sorry?
these tasks? Are they all
It,
merging into one these
it gets
tasks?
that way sometimes, though, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
because that's the first thing that I thought of when we were talking about reflections was I thought of your hallway and that shot that you'd done before.
Yeah.
But what I like again about these challenges is it's the same challenge for both of us, and we've both done something kind of completely different again.
Yeah. Well, when I liked yours actually, when I first watched it, it took me probably about a quarter of the way through to realise what was going on, because there were subtle, weren't there? It was obviously the TV reflection which didn't cotton on at first, and then you walked past, and because you looked at the camera, my eyes were on you rather than the mirror, and then you toddled off upstairs. And I think it was only when you opened the microwave, which I thought that's a bit random, and then the penny dropped then.
What was going on?
But
I did have one
but
with the
it was
oven
cool.
as well, opening the oven. But at least I could fake putting something in the microwave. I didn't have any turkeys or all to fake put in the oven. So that I think that one I cut that one out a little bit. But the hardest one
what made you
was
decide?
kind of the hardest shot to get with the reflection was trying to get my kind of face in focus on my watch, without getting any cameras or anything in the shot as well. But apart from that, I think it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out all right, really.
What made you decide to do it in black and white then?
I think a couple of the photos at the end, the ones that I wanted to use, were actually in black and white anyway. So it just kind of made sense to continue with that. And I think then once I started editing, it was like, oh, I don't want to have to colour grade all this, so I just kind of made it black and white and increased contrast, and I think it looked it helped with the reflections as well.
Yeah. So was the one that you did 12 years ago, the feet in the mirror, was that black and white originally then?
No, the original shot, which I threw up on my stream, was the mirror, and the reflection in the mirror was black and white, and the rest of the photo was colour, a good old kind of colour splash photo from what you always do when you first start photography, do a bit of colour splash, mixing black and white and colour.
Yeah. That's yeah. So we did this old school, and if any of you guys have got anything like TikTok or anything like that, there's actually apps that do that type of thing now, isn't there? Where you stay in one position, move off, and then do something else, and then you've got the two. The one that I did a couple of weeks ago, where I was stood in the kitchen, and then I changed from my normal gear to my photography gear. That wasn't using a TikTok app or anything, but it was doing it like we've just been talking about, but in that style.
How did
a lot of people
do that in terms of making sure you were stood in exactly the right place?
Well, remember me telling you about Mike and Trevor?
All right, yeah. So you just got him to stand in for you.
No. Well, you know what? It wasn't exact, but because there's a flash on there, it's just a case of guessing. And I did a couple of shots, to be honest with you. But if I know where I'm stood, and if I've got my arms folded or something, I literally just stand back in that spot. And because unless your job is to scrutinise it and look for errors and things, it's pretty unnoticeable, really.
I thought it was really effective. I really liked it.
Yeah, it was quite good fun actually. But I did enjoy doing this, and I'm surprised at how few I've done using my drone, to be honest with you. But the weather has been shocking, and obviously we haven't been able to go out much.
No.
And I was, was stuck in the house a few times. So,
now, especially for the drone. So that's why I'm kind of hoping that people sell them off, so I can maybe pick one up a bit cheaper over at winter to have a play with them next year.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I liked the one that you did there. It was I wouldn't have thought about that, to be honest with you, because I was thinking, oh, how can I do something kind of trickery? Do you know what I mean? Whereas it was quite simple, really, wasn't it? What you did, you just looked at places around the house where there was reflections, and you actually added um, a spot of magic to it, like door and stuff when you were closing the
Yeah,
door.
the only thing is the two doors that we used for it open different directions. That door for the downstairs bathroom that opens outwards, that is the only one in the house that opens that way. All the others open the right way that we needed it to. But by the time we'd done it, we were like, I don't want to have to reshoot it. Right?
Could you have flipped it? Could you have flipped the image?
Because I was closing the door on one and then opening it inwards on the other one, and it had meant like the computer and everything had been on the other side of the room, and all the wording and everything had been backwards on it. So it still worked. It was still effective. I mean, the one in the bathroom where I'm staring in the mirror and then I walk off and I'm still staring. That was a lot easier to do than what I expected, because I'm used to doing it with photos. I'm not used to doing it with video. But again, it's not much different, is it? You just pick a point where you want to mask it out, and off you go.
That's right. I mean, I think we've both done it numerous times without it even being challenges anyway. When I did the one with me stood behind me last week, was it? That was the same type of thing, really, wasn't it? It was just masking out half of the screen and then overlapping the other bit on it. But yeah, it's good fun. So we're doing motion next week. Have you got any ideas so far?
Well, it overlaps again, doesn't it? Because motion, I could use the light trails photos from the other week. I'm not gonna, but that's capturing motion. So I need to come up with something similar. I think again, what you shot with your kind of interval photography of the river, that was motion. So yeah, you just have to have a think and try and come up with something that's different to you, because we're not going to talk about what we're actually going to do. We always seem to come up with something different, don't we, which is good.
Yeah, we do, and we'll have to try and find a time once things settle down where we can go do the task
at the same place
together again.
It was good, that, wasn't it? And it's, like I say, it's just a combination of coronavirus and time and weather. Just to be fair, if I'd have I wouldn't have gone out. If I were you and it were raining like that, well, I didn't go out, did I? I looked out a window and it was chucking it down, and I was like, nah, I'm not going out. It's not happening.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've got ready 3 times, and it looked beautiful. And then within no time, you looked up and you thought, how can those clouds have covered so quickly by the time I'd crossed the road? But yeah, it was a good one. I'm looking forward to doing the motion one as well. I've got quite a lot of ideas, but I'll need to try and plan what I'm going to do, really.
A lot of it is, I mean, especially for, I don't know about for you, but for me at the minute, the thinking of an idea of something to shoot for the photo is quite straightforward. Trying to then think of ideas to shoot video and the B-roll around it, that's what I'm finding challenging, but that's what I'm enjoying as well. So it's good, isn't
it? Yeah, it is. So I hope you join us next week when we're doing the motion one, and I hope you like the ones that we did tonight, 2 different ones. And if you've got any suggestions about any challenges, complaints, praise,
complaints to the podcast ombudsman.
It might be complaints about my shabbiness at the beginning where I couldn't even introduce it because I'd left YouTube on in the background.
Off, it's fine.
Ah,
Edit
yeah.
it out.
So
It's not live. It's fine.
yeah.
But no, it was good.
So yeah, are we all
I
wrapped
think we
up for
are,
tonight?
So, yeah. Until next week, we'll see you then. Goodbye.
Yeah. See you next week. Please remember to subscribe or like.